Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Rachel. This is my art desk, and today I am unboxing and creating with this mystery art supply box from Paletteful Packs. This is the October 2023 box, so there's a pretty high chance I'll be doing some fall and spooky art. So let's open this box up and get started. All right, so the first thing I'm seeing is some canvases. So my guess is we're going to be doing some kind of painting this month. There's this tiny magnet canvas. We've gotten one of these in a previous box. We also have some, larger canvases in comparison. These are 6x6 canvas panels, so they're not stretched canvas on a frame. It is just a canvas attached right to a panel. All right, looks like we have one more canvas, so I'll just pull this one out before we get to the other supplies in the box. And this one is the largest canvas. It is an 8x10 stretched canvas, so you can see kind of the difference between a stretched canvas and canvas panels. So these are the canvases that we'll be working with. So we have five surfaces to paint. All right, next I see what looks like is going to be our medium. These are So Flat Golden Matte Acrylic Paints. I love golden acrylic paints. I've never tried their So Flat Mattes though, so I'm really excited to try these out and see how they compare to the paints that I already have by this brand. All right, looks like we also have 3 tools in this box. We have one angular brush. This is a 1/2 inch Robert Simmons Sapphire. We also have a Princeton Heritage No. 2 round brush. It's a nice small brush to get into the little details, especially on that tiny little canvas. And we also have a palette knife, and this is good for mixing colors, applying colors, and also scratching and removing color. And finally, there's the little sticker in the box. Now that everything's out, let's get familiar with these supplies and make some art. All 4 of the paintings done today are going to be using only these 3 colors: ultramarine blue, permanent yellow, and titanium white. With a color palette like this, blue and yellow are complementary colors, and white is going to enable me to lighten my colors. So just about any of the mixtures that I can make with this, I know are going to look really good together. What makes this paint unique is the fact that it is very fluid, but it is not watered down, so it's still very opaque, and you can layer all of the colors on top of each other. The white covers up even that dark blue brilliantly. And these paints also dry to a flat matte finish, which is absolutely beautiful. There's no gloss or shine to it, which sometimes I like, but sometimes I like to try something a little bit different, and these paints are they're just beautiful. Once I have a good feeling of how these paints are all gonna mix together, I start sketching out a couple of ideas for my 4 prompts, which were shape, ghost, planet, and mystery. Once I have a few ideas down on paper, it's time to get started. I'm gonna start off with a really simple one today on this tiny magnetic canvas. Because I've been away from creating for about a week now, I just feel like I need a little warm up. I start off by drawing a few blobby shapes on the canvas with a small circle inside each one of them. And I'm actually not doing any color mixing for this first painting. I wanted to keep each of the colors just as bright and vibrant as they are straight out of the tube. I'm painting around each of the shapes with the ultramarine blue, and I'm making a second pass just because the brush that I'm working with is very small and it left a few brush strokes. I also make sure to paint the edges of the canvas. Then I'm taking titanium white and painting in each of those shapes, doing a second coat on them as well. Once that's dry, I take the permanent yellow and paint a small circle inside each of the white blobs. And if you can't tell, this is a modern painting of eggs. I like to think of myself as a super refined artist. All jokes aside, this was a nice little warm-up for the paintings that I am about to do, which I actually think turned out really good. So please don't leave thinking they're all going to be this silly. But hey, who doesn't love a good little egg painting? Next up is my ghost painting, and I wanted to play around with color mixing a little bit more on this one. I'm starting off with the ghost and tombstones, making them a really light green and cool blue color. And I didn't mix the colors in super well because I kind of wanted some marbling in the brush strokes, so you will be able to see a little bit more blue or yellow just based on whatever the paint decided it wanted to do. I painted the background a nice dark green so it would contrast with the white ghost. And I left the sky just a pure ultramarine blue, and right now this is giving some serious It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown vibes, and I love it, so I'm leaving it. I add some yellow to the darker green, again not mixing it through very well because I want that marbling, and I'm using that to create some texture and tufts of grass in the background. Now I'm just kind of intuitively adjusting the colors, adding more blues to do some shadows on the ghosts. And I'm also using that dark green color that I had used for the base of the background to do a little bit of line work and definition for the ghost, and adding some details to the tombstones like cracks and lettering. I used titanium white for stars in the sky, highlights on the ghost, and do a little bit of dry brushing on the tombstones to make them look more textured and weathered. I don't know what this ghost's story is or why he looks so sad. Maybe he's at the graveyard missing his loved one who hasn't died yet. Either way, I really think he turned out pretty cute, and I like this one a whole lot more than my egg one. Next up, I am creating a painting for the word planet, and I'm taking this opportunity to try a different style than what I've done previously. For this particular painting, I wanted to keep it monochromatic, so you can see in my little cups there at the top of my desk, I have white and the ultramarine blue, and 3 cups in between with different mixtures of those 2 paints together. I'm approaching this a bit more like a paint by number style, so it's going to be a bit more crisp and bold than my ghost painting was. I just jump right in with adding in the dark blues in the areas that I want it, and then slowly working my way down to the whites. I paint each section just the flat color, and then once it's dried, I do go back in and add a little bit more color variation and a tiny bit of blending once I'm happy with where my colors are placed. I save the little white highlights for last, and that's it. This one didn't take me quite so long because I had all of the paint mixed up ahead of time, and I really wasn't doing any blending while I was painting. This is a much different style than I usually do, but I really like the way it looks. This next painting is based off of the prompt word mystery, and unlike the previous paintings, this one actually has a lot of meaning behind it, especially for me. I am an overthinker, especially when it comes to social situations. And I find myself trying to predict any of the outcomes that might happen when I'm in a social setting. So this painting portrays the anxiety and exhaustion that comes with trying to predict anything that may happen. I chose to work more on the yellow color scheme side, but tinting all of them with a little bit of blues to make like these sickly green colors, which I think really help portray the meaning of this painting. I wanted all of the visual representations of this feeling to be really exaggerated, so I added lots of wrinkles around the eyes and veins in the eyeball, and I added a question mark in the pupil as well, because sometimes it's hard to pull myself out of the maze that I have made inside my head of what may or may not happen. This is definitely my favorite painting out of the 4 that I did. But drop a comment down below, let me know which one you liked best. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Now go make some art, and I will see you next time.